First off, this guy looks alien. What 17-year-old looks like this? All right, ladies and gentlemen, 2021 has come to a close, and I asked you all on Instagram the most impressive, or what you think the most impressive lifts of 2021 in training or competition for any sport were. And this is what some of you had to answer. I remember this lift and it being pretty shocking. I don't know if it was a PR for her. This is a big lift. So she misses it the first time. Okay, this is what I remember. This is like, so they have as many attempts as they want within the 30 seconds, which is crazy in weightlifting to think about going for it again.
There it is, and Annie Thorsdottir has it.
And her face says it all. What she ends up doing is popping up into this position, and then she kind of does this like mixture between static or dynamic start. So like a dynamic start, guys, is when you take your hips and you lower them and go. So she goes into this pre-set up position, then she comes up, and then she does this yank, right? You can see her shoulders go slack and yank. I would just change that, but unbelievable lift. I don't know. What? Nobody said this. This is Alex just... I was not ready for this. There you go. That's my... Okay, I remember this. So here's the thing. With the... Look at the mini-me. It wasn't 230. I think it was like 228. So, Freaky D, if you're out there listening... You didn't mog me, bro. John Hack's raw 1,005.5 kilo total at 90 kilos body weight. He's kind of like a high bar squatter, or at least relative to other powerlifters. Yeah, look at where that bar is set, guys. Look at where that is. Like, that's very rare. And you could tell too, it's very rare because he's looking forward at the crowd. His chest is really... It's like up and pronounced up. Both hands on the bar, narrow grip too. Like I know guys that can barely hold onto the bar. I know guys that once their hands are on that thing, they're locked in. They could never drop the bar behind them, even if they wanted to. But this is 340 here. Unbelievable death. Always good speed from John too. See, that just looks good. And I think also on his bench, he doesn't have that crazy of an arch. I could be wrong. Looks like but he also has like longer arms. Doesn't seem to have a maxed out grip width. That's a good distance. 263. That's huge. Oh my god. 402.5. If you were a power lifter and you wanted to defend what powerlifting should look like and how it can look really cool, John Hack is your guy. It can look really stupid if someone puts the bar super low on their back, or has this wide ass sumo deadlift grip or sumo deadlift stance, or this huge arch. I know it's all legal, and I know some of the best in the world do it. I'm just saying from an aesthetics point of view, John Hack would be the guy that I would point to. Liver King's liver.
In the spirit of like supports like, consuming the kidney of a healthy animal is going to strengthen and support the kidney of a struggling individual.
Have we seen such a prolific rise, like at all, like that dude? I think in like 3 months or some crazy number, when I talked about this, he went from 0 followers to 500,000 followers. So, whatever we think about him doesn't really matter because the world is watching. And, people kill for that. People kill for that amount of... Companies will spend millions of dollars to get the eyes on them for their market. They would spend millions of dollars on what Liver King has. So there's something to be said about that. Obviously he's on gear. Like, it's just so blatantly obvious, but... I've talked about this so much, and the typical argument is, well, if he's selling products, if he's selling a lifestyle, and he doesn't talk about a massive portion of it, he's doing a disservice to the industry, and that is pretty true. But it's like, there's just so much shit like that out there that it's just part of it, 134 kilo curl from Levan Saganashvili, arm wrestler. So that Shvili ending is Georgian. So I'm assuming, this is a Georgian guy. You can see like the Georgian flag in the back. But Kaki Kakiashvili, legendary weightlifter who lifted for Greece, was actually Georgian. So that's how I'm tying those together. Kind of that last, I don't know what you would call it, suffix. So, look, he's only doing, first off, this guy looks alien. Obviously he's on drugs, has like massive arms, but it looks weird. He looks like a giant. Like he looks like, look at his hand. But he's doing these like kind of partial reps, but for an arm wrestler, I don't believe, I'm sure they're just specifically training from this range of motion. I'm so tiny. It's pathetic. And I wore the fucking cutoff shirt. I don't know. All right. Yeah. So he's about to do this with 134. That's insane. Yeah. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the range of motion is. It's insane. Another thing I wonder about arm wrestling, like he's training his right arm here. Do they train their left arm as much? Are there guys who are strictly righties? Are there guys who are strictly lefties? Does everyone do both? Do they have different championships? So they have to wire the weights on there with like chicken wire. Insane. Dude, being those two guys must be challenging. That must be a total pain in the ass. But I don't even understand. Like, what? Pretty much 300 pounds in one hand. 127 clean and jerk at Tokyo. She won Philippines' first ever gold medal. This lift was incredible. It really sucks that it had to be at this Olympics with no one watching, with no one in the stands. That it could have just been so much better. But I don't want to take anything away from this lift. Copyright, obviously, with the Olympics is insane. You can't get away with a second. So I'm hoping this gets through. It's going to be kind of like a slideshow. Of course, she's crying. You guys, that is the first gold medal in Philippines history. Did they pipe like crowd noise in? Because I know there wasn't any spectators. Oh my God, man. Just so emotional. Like, it's honestly like that is the pinnacle. I think that right there is the pinnacle of Olympic weightlifting. Little Kazakh lad, 271 front squat. It's ridiculous how fast this thing is. Bop. 260 for an easy double. Triple. Sorry. Wait, so it's 281. Look at the depth. Look at the torso position. It's Kazakhstan, so we're not gonna talk drugs. Still, that's just insane. Like if you think about Ilya's 270 front squat, it looked nothing like that. I think this looks better. It looks better. Super wide grip on that clean. Does make the jerk really easy. Okay, Carlos Nassar is the 17-year-old Bulgarian kid. And he's basically talking about oral steroids. And his liver was lifting really impressively. So this was at Worlds 166. Again, 17 years old, guys. This is I mean, like, dude, what? What 17-year-old looks like this? He's got a full-grown beard, mustache. He's got a better beard than I have, better tattoos than me. When did he start getting tattoos? Is what I want to know. But it's a 17-year-old Bulgarian. It looks like he's 27, breaking world records. Where there is smoke, there most certainly has to be fire here. Okay, amazing lift. What's crazy is his technique is kind of shoddy. It's kind of is the key word here. Obviously, it's the best technique because I believe he's the winner in this group. I can't believe Alex said Carlos Nassar's liver. Lasha muscle snatches at the training hall are mind-boggling. So back in 2017, that's when I noticed these muscle snatches from Lasha. And I got a bunch of videos, and then a bunch of Instagram guys stole these videos. But I just remember him just doing like countless reps with 140 kilos. Guys, look. I want you to put 145 kilos on the bar, any of you out there, and just try to do anything with it. Just feel what that feels like and what this dude is doing with his hands. What this dude is doing with his hands. Just, here, I put you to the sky. I put you to sky and it go overhead. This is what I do. I put bar to sky. Yeah, so something that Seb pointed out was every time his total has progressively gotten bigger, his muscle snatches have progressed as well. So he was doing, 135 back when he was snatching 217 or 218, whatever it was. Then he bumped it up to 140. And then he did 220. Now he's up to 145, and then he did like 223, and now he's up to 150. And here we have the 225 snatch. The cool, I just noticed this. Obviously, I've watched this a million times since it happened. He had to rebounce. He had to settle the bar, and almost it's like a micro save. See this little save? That was one of his most solid world records. Like, that was incredibly solid. So here we have a look at 267, which is Leonid Taranenko in, I keep forgetting this, it's either 88 or 86. He had the 266. Funniest thing about that video is if we look at Taranenko's elbows, like, they look incredibly suspect. And then you're going to look at this, and he actually got called for his elbows on this. This shows you where judging is headed. Okay? This thing got reversed. Thank God it got reversed. A tiny little bobble. Tiny, bro. Tiny little bobble in that right elbow. It went like this. Whoop, sorry. This was a no lift. Why are we defending the press out rule? Clearance is 410. This was actually awesome. And I made a comment on his Instagram, like, look at the people in the background just not understanding what the is going on. Also, this is the best Clarence's technique has ever looked, in my personal opinion. And I don't know if that is something like he's been working with Gabriel. I know that. But it's really cool to see his technique be refined in the past couple of years. Especially his jerk technique. My God, has that gotten so much better. Back lands, front lands. Back, front. Really deep. That front foot recovers first. This is incredibly solid lifting. 185. Has to walk it out. But we're good. I want to see something. So this is always the craziest thing, and I've noticed this from Clarence too. His back like has this slight rounding in it. Right here. But he has this ability to just grit his teeth and just put everything into that extension. Just everything. Just disregard for the barbell and like whatever the feeling of the barbell is off the floor. It does not matter because I'm going to attack extension. And that's what Clarence has always done so well. On his toes instead of, and this is the crazy thing. So you guys, like where Lasha stayed down there for like a fraction of this second, instead of shifting back into the heels, right? So he caught, bounced on the toes, and instead of shifting back and allowing the hips to kind of relax for like maybe a second and a half longer, he stands up out of it and runs this risk of running the barbell out. Mikey's weighted tray flip. All right, look. Mikey's our guy on this channel, and he is blowing up. Barstool Sports posted his weighted tray flip. Fox News was talking about it. Mikey and I have some plans going forward, so just stay tuned for that. Toe drag. I think he has a better one than this, but yeah, sorry, that's not going to count in skate, my dude. Anything the king permits, and I'm assuming this is none other than Kiriakos Grizzly. Yep. Watch this car just sink down. Hey! The thunderous leg kicks from the GOAT. All right, that's it, guys. 2021 is done. Man, I appreciate you all for this year. I've had so much fun with this content. I changed it up. I went to this kind of reaction type of content in front of this green screen here, and I appreciate all of you coming along with me. So I'll see you on the next one.